In a world where people's self-worth is often measured by likes, shares, and filters, the line between reality and curated perfection is often very blurred. Hi, my name is Savannah Rickerman, and welcome to my TED Talk, How Social Media and Body Dysmorphia Go Hand in Hand. For my thesis question, I researched how do the effects of Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and the exposure to them affect body image of young adolescents aged 13 to 23. Through my research, I have found social media, especially apps like TikTok and Instagram, and the exposure to those apps have been proven to have extremely detrimental effects on adolescents' mental health. Alrighty, the question is up there on the board, but for my lovely panel, everyone look at yourself in the mirror, and it's a rhetorical question, so don't answer it out loud. Alrighty. I felt like I'd start us off with a story. I want to start off by sharing my personal story of why I am so connected to this topic. I started using social media when I was just in the 6th grade. That is a picture of me up there in 6th grade versus like a modern to-date picture. Boy, I wish I hadn't started using social media in 6th grade. While I was regulated on some content, I had complete free reign on others. I shortly became obsessed with filters and anything that could alter or shape my appearance different than the way it was, which led me down a long road of self-hatred. Some days I loved looking at myself in the mirror, and I loved what I saw, but other days, all I could do was compare myself to girls who were much thinner than me. Growing up, I tried everything from odd diets to, exercise routines I saw on social media, and while some worked, even when I was at my thinnest, I couldn't see myself that way, and I wasn't happy or healthy either. To make things a little bit easier for you guys, I'm going to start off by explaining what body dysmorphia is. Body dysmorphia disorder is a disorder in which a person has a persistent preoccupation with flaws or defects they see in their physical appearance, even if those flaws are not present towards other people. First, I'm going to go over some beauty standards. While social media hasn't been around forever, beauty standards have, and social media is the modernized foundation of normalizing those standards. I'm going to go over 3 different types of beauty standards. Number 1, starting us off with fashion. This right here is a real-life, real-world ad of a lingerie company, and you can see the title is The Perfect Body, and you can see that all the models presented up there are very thin and fit models. That is a modern example of what a fashion or like a need to look like beauty standard is. But I want to get a little further back really quick and talk about the corset. The corset, while it dates back to the Victorian era, was and now is still something that is modernized moving forward certain fashion items that can be not only poor to mental health but also physical health, doing things such as, damaging and collapsing ribs, as well as molding and shaping your body to look a certain way. Next, I want to go over diets. I want to highlight everyday diet culture traps that we can see on social media. Things like cheat days, shapewear, Facetune, and sculpting spray tans. Those are just some of the few examples of internet fools. One diet I did research on that I want to tell you guys about is the tapeworm diet. This diet is so fascinating to me because of how obscure it is. These are pictures of a tapeworm. They can start as small as kind of like a jelly bean shape, and then they can get as big as this. And what you do is you eat the tapeworm, and it's supposed to sit in your stomach for a few weeks and eat all the nutrients you're eating. Basically, all the food you're eating, the tapeworm is eating. So you are not gaining any weight, and you're also not receiving any nutrients. And you're supposed to get rid of it by passing it through your poop, but obviously things go wrong. Don't eat tapeworms, guys. It's really bad. And this is a very overdramatic example of a diet, but this is just here to prove certain lengths people can and will go to with what they are seeing on social media. And lastly, I'd like to go over Botox and plastic surgery. Those 2 screenshots you see in the corner are direct screenshots from my own Instagram of targeted Botox ads that I saw. I didn't have to search up anything or get to any, they just showed up on my For You page. And with a lot of vulnerable people feeling not the best about the way their appearance is, being susceptible to ads like that, things can go wrong where they feel like they need to use Botox and plastic surgery. Not all cases of Botox and plastic surgery go wrong, but I wanted to highlight some examples of where it did, just to show. There's 2 pictures right here. And this is a girl down here who tried to she did so much plastic surgery to look like a real life Barbie doll. And I just thought that was very fascinating. How are these things connected though? A recent study that I looked at said 209 16 to 18-year-olds were recruited from schools in London, and they completed an online survey measuring aspects of social media usage, including image and text-based media, popularity within social media, and active posting on social media. They additionally completed a survey measuring body dysmorphia symptoms, perfectionism, and anxiety and depression symptoms. The results showed that the frequent use of social media-based platforms has been significantly and positively associated with body dysmorphia symptoms. I have two tables on here that I'd specifically like you guys to look at. First, we're going to look at this one over here. 80% of women said that the images of women they see on TV, movies, and magazines make them feel insecure about the way they look. And 42% of first through third graders wish that they were thinner. My sister is a first grader, and I could never imagine someone that small feeling that way about themselves. Next, I'd like to bring you guys to this one. I've edited photos of myself to change my face or body because of concerns about my body image. 1 in 4 girls admitted to doing that, while 1 in 10 boys admitted to doing the exact same. Did people care as much, and how does social media play a role in that? You can only wonder, did people care as much about their appearance back then? Like I said, you can only wonder. But what I do know is when there's a pressure to please a certain following on social media, that can lead to certain pressures to fit in and even fake what is being posted. Just how fake can social media be? There are 2 images of myself up here. That one over there is the original, and this one is the edited one. Obviously, you guys can tell this is edited because there was no spaceships and cows in the photo. But could you tell that it's edited now? Aside from the lighting changes, I bet you guys couldn't tell that I made my waist and my hips smaller in this photo compared to the original one. That then leads me to comparison culture. You never know what is fake on social media, and that's why you shouldn't be so quick to compare yourselves to the posts that you are seeing on social media. I have 2 images here to look at. First, we're going to start over here with selfie stats. 87.73% of women said yes, that they compare their own body to images they see on social media, while 12.27% said no. If we look at the men, 65.37% of men said yes, while 36.63% said no. If we look at this image over here, we can see 2 sides of a cell phone. One side is what is the surface level, such as posting pictures with your friends, doing certain things to fit in, or following certain beauty standards. What we don't see often is behind the phone, what is not on the surface level, things such as anxiety and depression, comparing yourselves to others, bullying, and FOMO, the fear of missing out. I would like to connect suicide rates and how the time spent on social media connects to that. Table 1 over there is representing time spent. Each color is a different amount. Lori. Each color is a different amount of time spent on social media. While when it pulls up, the table that is over here you guys will see shows the suicide rates from emergency room admissions. You guys will see a blue line, that represents self-harm, and then you guys will see a red line. That is the completed suicides, and these are ages 12 to 14-year-olds, especially with girls. This study was taken between 2001 and 2020, and this was directly from social media usage. Really quick, I'd like you guys to focus on how I said 2020. 2020 was what we all know as the time of the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, more people were staying in their homes, which means more people were being online. I know for me personally, the amount of time I spent online increased way more during COVID than beforehand. So, here's what I was just talking about. This is the self-harm, this is suicide, and this was a chart taken from emergency rooms admissions, like I said, 2021 to 2022. Like I was saying before though, I know for me personally, I spent a lot more time on social media when it was COVID, and so I know most of the population did.
Hijacked my project. Hang on. I got you.
I'm pausing the time right now.
Thank you.
I was like, do I keep going?
Okay, let's see. Okay, now it's working.
Back this one. Wait, yes, now the
Okay.
clicker works too?
No, now the
Okay, perfect. Next, we're gonna look at trends. I'd have you guys look up here first. Here you can see, again, these are all screenshots straight from my TikTok For You page. You can see a girl saying, POV, you don't have the cute beauty standard nose, and a girl right next to her talking about how she can some days barely look at herself in the mirror because of what she's seeing on social media and comparing herself. But if we take a look at the other side, you can see in that top corner a girl embracing like body positivity and trying to empower other women, and a guy next to her talking about how these attractiveness trends should not have to define someone's self-worth. This is both the negative and the positives we can see. One trend I would specifically like to highlight and talk about is skinny talk. Skinny talk is a huge internet trend, and again, all of these being screenshots straight from my TikTok For You page, where you can see things like a girl saying, "not breathing until I lose weight," or the other girl in the corner saying, basically, "just eat less." This is just one of many examples of how toxic internet trends can be on social media, and how anyone can be susceptible to seeing videos like these, and then that making them feel worse about themselves. Any age can misuse social media. Kids, teenagers, and adults. One example I would like to show you guys is the Sephora kids. We're pretty sure everyone in this room at least knows a little bit about this topic, but basically this is a trend that is taking over the internet. And like I said, when I mean any age, I mean any age. There are literal 6-year-old girls who are being severely obsessed with skincare and makeup, and not only is this bad for like picture-based reasons, but also a lot of these girls are using certain things like anti-aging serums, and that is extremely bad for a child this age to be using because they obviously don't need to be using them, so this can cause later on lasting effects as they grow up. Also, social media has caused this because without access to this content, stuff like this wouldn't be posting. I know at this age, I didn't even know what makeup and skincare was. I was stuck playing with Barbie dolls, and so having access to this is just harboring children being able to use the internet to their advantage. Social media being linked with body dysmorphia. Social media plays the biggest role, from the amount of time spent doom scrolling content to the fashion and beauty trends we see designed only for those who are skinny and pretty enough. My call to action. I'm hoping to spread enough awareness about this disorder and the effects social media has on it, and I want people to care enough to make action and take action, such as more regulation with content we are seeing on social media, as well as the age groups who are being exposed to and using that content. I also want people to know that body dysmorphia goes a lot deeper than beyond just someone not liking themselves. I also believe that we should surround ourselves with more positivity and less negativity. We are the people who created this foundation on social media and set these standards, so we are the only people who can reverse those. Speaking of body positivity, I wanted to leave you guys with 2 of my absolute favorite influencers. This is Spencer Barbosa and Samantha Joe, and they are, in my opinion, exactly what we need more of on the internet. Young girls who are also inspiring the next younger generations. I think that it goes just beyond a way you look and trying to inspire others who look exactly like you to feel better about themselves, but I think everyone just needs to be more kind and considerate of what content they're posting on social media and how that may be affecting other people. Thank you for watching and coming to my TED Talk.